Hi, thank you, hello.
Congratulations on this.
Oh, thank you.
Now, I know you've been doing press for this for a couple of days, so this story's...
All the stories are the same.
I know.
I feel so bad.
I hope we're gonna try and get you guys some new stories tonight, and if we have to make them up,
Okay.
then we're gonna do that.
Great.
But you guys are gonna get a singular experience as we talk about...
Everybody's heard the Marty Book Club, I assume.
Spoilers?
But yes, I mean, my God.
So I have questions about this whole Marty Book Club thing, okay? So, filmmaker on line one, how'd this work?
It was like a cold call. It was like, Martin Scorsese wants to speak with you. And I was like, and I told him I might be available in a month or two.
Sure.
Researched who he was and whether or not he was somebody who I wanted to speak with.
This guy did Kundun.
Yeah. Okay. We got on a Zoom. And I actually Zoomed with him last week, and I texted a friend of mine and was like, it truly never gets old. I was wanted so badly to take a picture, but I knew he would see my phone, and then I didn't want to screenshot, but I'm just
read this that made him think of you, that he shared with you? Was there something that made him think I think you should try and adapt this and take this on?
God, I wish I remembered the details. It was 3.5 years ago. Clearly has anybody read the book? Wow, okay.
You guys have some homework ahead of you.
Yeah, now I feel stupid for reading it. But it's it's a really powerful character piece. And there aren't, characters like this, a dime a dozen. Really, really dynamic. And so I definitely get why a director would be wow, this would be a great character.
When you...
my husband, he wasn't my husband at the time. We were dating, and he couldn't believe that I had never seen Ratcatcher. And he showed it to me, and I realized immediately that I had to watch her entire filmography, which I did without him, but it was just so singular. And I felt like she did this thing that I still haven't seen it in another filmmaker. She makes films as if she's alone and on an island and doesn't care that anybody's ever gonna watch it. It's just pure poetry, it's unflinching, and she'll stay on something for an uncomfortably long amount of time, and she's not thinking about you. It's extremely pure. So then I watched her whole filmography and became her biggest fan. Obviously I'd wanted to work with her for years, but her last movie was 8 years ago. And so when I got this material, the material is poetic, it's not literal, it's not linear, it's all told from the character's perspective. Everybody here knows it because you've all read it. And so it was the perfect match. So it was Lynn Ramsey. So we went out to Lynn Ramsey, and then, finding financing for it was a breeze, because people love financing movies that are about women's issues, rated R. So
there's nothing that gets a financier salivating quicker than postpartum depression.
Yeah. So they just started throwing money at us, and we were stop, oh my God, and then we made it.
So when you brought this to Lynn, she had said that she was a little bit reluctant to take it on because she wasn't quite sure how to adapt it and kind of take that perspective where, you're still riding shotgun with this woman as she's going through this experience, but you have to make it so it's filmable and, it's going to actually play on a screen. Did it take a little bit of convincing to her? Was it the kind of thing where you just sort of waited it out until she had an epiphany about how to do it?
Yeah, I think we did as much as we could do to tell her, please, and how much we love her and would love her for this, and Martin Scorsese, but she took her time. I think she just had to find her way in. And then the next time I spoke with her, it was the most unbelievable creative conversation I've ever had with anybody in my life. And then she would just, you know, have like a scene idea, and then she would like write a song about the thing. And I mean, it's just the most brilliant, she's so brilliant, that it feels like violating that people have to see the movie now. Like after spending years of having conversations with her and how pure everything is that comes from her, I just like, I'm used to it. I'm used to like the movie coming out and people either hate it or like it or whatever, but I'm just like, God, I feel so like, she's just so pure. I don't know.
That's her.
Yeah.
I had no idea that I heard she was a songwriter, but I didn't realize she had pipes.
Yeah.
And that's actually a really good cover of that Joy Division song. It's a nice little addition. Mm-hmm. She's a Renaissance woman.
Yeah. Renaissance.
Yeah, I think that's how you pronounce it, right?
I would have said Renaissance, but I didn't go to school.
Judges? Yeah, okay, you're right. A Renaissance, all right, fine.
Thank you.
Jennifer 1, David 0. What her interpretation of Grace was compared to yours initially?
Well, it's hard because we kind of had that like umbilical cord thing that happens when you like trust, where I think it's hard to distinguish we both were very clear on, you know, even though a lot of what you see that Grace does is very, you know, actionable. And I think there was like a part of me that, has anybody seen Balin out loud? It's a TLC show. She has Tourette's. It's so funny. I mean, not that Tourette's is funny. Never mind. Forget I said all of this.
Cut the live stream.
Cut the live stream. But I was watching that show, and a lot of sometimes the moments with Grace, it reminded me, because it's like anybody that has like a tic, it's like this overwhelming urge. And then once the tic is fulfilled, it's like relief, and there's like a release. And so that's kind of how I started seeing some of Grace's bigger, like more actionable things as like this like build up, like a scratch, and then finally like the relief, which is like how we came to like Grace apologizing to Jackson in the hospital room after she goes through the glass window. Because to Lynn was really good about keeping me out of like my head. I am a wife, so I do think about somebody's feelings every day, and I occasionally, not often, but I have to say sorry. And Grace just like, so sometimes it would be hard because, you know, Rob and I would be like, you know, talking through the dialogue, and then it's like, well, at what point is she going to like apologize? And Lynn was just kind of like, she fucking wouldn't. She'd be like, fuck you. Like, you put me, you know, she was like, and that was good for me. It was good for me to like keep that kind of like, fuck it, fuck 'em mindset when I'm always like, are you mad at me?
I feel like she gave you permission to do that?
Going back, sorry, the live stream. The thing that Lynn and I really were on the same page about was that there was this purity of like frankness to Grace, of like, there's no veneer, there's no, you know, there's nothing actually really that wrong with her. It's kind of with society and with the world that is askew. Like, why do you have to get into a conversation with a cashier when all you want to do is like buy macaroni and go? You know, if you don't want to. I don't know. Don't ask me anything.
She makes a very compelling, hard to think of anybody else playing Jackson, having seen this movie a couple of times now. But was his name like one of the first names that came up? Was it kind of right from the jump where you're like, oh, we should think about Robert Pattinson for this. Let's go out to him and see if he's interested in it?
Well, I wish I could just answer your questions in a straightforward way. It would make all of our lives easier, but I am finding it impossible.
Take the long way. We got time.
Well, for one, as a producer on this, I think it was the first time I've ever been on a movie, producer or not producer, that our first choice in casting for everybody said yes. Every single, like from Sissy, Nick Nolte, Lakeith, Rob, it was like our dream people, they all said yes. Rob and I were actually FaceTiming about another project, and then we were talking about how the timing like wasn't going to work out, and I was like, well, I'm actually doing a Lynn Ramsey movie in the fall, and I was like, wait a minute, and he was like, you're working with Lynn Ramsey? And I was like, yeah, and there's a part for you, and that's how that came about.
I love it that he spent the last, I don't know, maybe 8-10 years like going after these very purposely weird characters. And I say this in the most complimentary way possible. I have loved the work that he has done.
No, it's why I think that's one of my favorite things about his work is his choices.
Yeah, he makes these really crazy left field choices that feel so right when you see him do it. And here he's like basically pivoting to this big normie energy, which is allowing Grace to kind of go as big or as small or as out there as possible. It's just such a nice dynamic that the two of you guys have that you somehow figured out how to set up when you weren't taking interpretive dance classes together.
Yeah, when we weren't doing that.
That was, by the way, that was how Lynn Ramsey started you guys off, right? You had to take interpretive dance classes, which sounds awesome, frankly.
And I think it was good. It was like exposure therapy for what we were going to do, because we didn't know that like on the first day of shooting, she would be like attack each other like tigers, naked. And so I think it's good that we had like 3 weeks of doing like really embarrassing things in front of each other. You know, like listen to this song, think about how it makes you feel, and then express that in your body for the person across from you. And you're like, okay. I mean, I'm not going to do it. But it was like really embarrassing. But also it helps with like, you know, fight scenes or choreography, sex scenes or choreography. Like it actually was helpful.
Love how free this performance is. Like it feels like there really were no boundaries that you were given other than like follow your instincts and stay true to Grace as much as possible. So I'm curious how Lynn set things up on that set that you were able to do that. Because it's not just trust in Rob, it's trust in her too.
Yeah. Total trust in her. And she's a world builder. Like a few weeks before we started shooting, we went up there and we didn't rehearse in terms of like, you know, saying the dialogue out loud, but we would go through the script and just have conversations about the dialogue and about the relationships and the dynamics. And then after that, we would go into the house and we would spend just kind of time in the house, which ends up being like another character in the movie. It like changes so much, it represents so much, you know, for my character when she comes back after she's been gone, and like it looks like they've been doing so much better without her, which is every mom's worst nightmare, you know, which is that they're better off without me. So the house, spending time in the house, building up these conversations so that by the time it actually came to like shooting, we knew who these people were. So it didn't really matter what she threw at us. We knew how that person would react to that.